What's going on, guys? Extra Point Podcast. 1 week from 2021-2022 NFL season. Cowboys, Bucks from Tampa Bay kicking off the season.
Yes, sir.
I am like, every time I see like a post about it, I just like I'll put it on like the Extra Point Instagram story, and I'll put like the smiling, like crying emoji, because I'm just so glad football is back.
It's going to be a great season with
Without
all
a
the
doubt.
different ways that just like any season, but I mean especially this season when they finally got their training camp back. They're finally back to their kind of normal routine, minus the one less preseason game. But hey, it's going to be a whirlwind of a time. It's going to be a great season.
Without a doubt. Gable, I mean, you look like you're excited.
I'm super pumped. Tim,
Yeah.
I did just see on IG though. What do you think of the? It was actually, I think it might have been your stories that the Packers can't play in New Orleans. Obviously.
Oh yeah, they're playing in Jacksonville due to Hurricane Ida. Hopefully, again, thoughts and prayers are with the people in New Orleans. I know that's not
absolutely
that's not the first time they've had to deal with something like this. Obviously, it's going to be so. The challenge in New Orleans for the Packers having to go there week one was the noise, obviously, because the Superdome is loud. I think we can make the case it's arguably the loudest stadium in the league, because there's a roof or whatever. And now you go to Jacksonville. There's no like or there's no noise issue there for the Packers. It's just the heat. The Packers had to play there a couple years ago in 2016. It was the game where Rodgers had that touchdown where Jaylen Ramsey was on his jersey and he still threw it to Devontae Adams. That game, like it's super. I mean, it'll probably be in the 90s, 80s or 90s at least. It's going to be hot, and it's hard. I mean, they'll find ways to be ready. They've been ready before, for the heat, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's a neutral site game, which you don't really see that very often in the NFL unless it's the Super Bowl. So going to be fun to see what happens. But speaking of the Packers, I know Travis and I got into this, this heated, wasn't really heated.
This little debate that we had earlier this morning.
Yeah.
Text message.
Yeah, Gable, I'm sure you're prepared for this. So Jair Alexander, Jaylen Ramsey, I put it on. Was the Extra Point story? I said Jair Alexander is the best cornerback in the NFL, and Travis said to me, "Let's look at the text. What did he say?"
I said Jaylen Ramsey is the best cornerback.
Yes.
I said here's why, because of what he's done for every single year that he's been in the league. Last year they were basically dead even for their stats. So you can make the case for last year, of course, 1-2, it doesn't matter either way. But I'm just saying for overall, for what they've done, it's kind of even, but I give the advantage to Jaylen Ramsey.
Yeah. Gable, you go.
I think Jaylen Ramsey is a way better tackler, and I think they're similar in coverage, but I think he's low key one of the best tacklers in the league. So
that's good.
That's good. I think he is like the opposite of Deion Sanders, where he will stick his nose in there and he'll pop some fools. So I think that I think is maybe just why he might be. I agree with Travis. I think in coverage, you put either of those two on an island, and I think you're going to be just fine. I mean, they both of them got to play man against each opposing team's number one receivers every week, and I think obviously they're both Pro Bowlers at that. I love Jaylen Ramsey just setting the edge just a little bit more than Jair Alexander, and that's it.
So, Jaylen Ramsey. Okay, Jaylen Ramsey is the best trash talker in the NFL. I certainly agree with that.
Sure, but that has absolutely nothing to do with.
It kind of does. I mean, he gets inside the. I mean, do you remember the AJ Green game? A couple when he was in Jacksonville.
I guess Tim.
Jaylen Ramsey got into said he got AJ Green kicked out because he was punching. Gable freeze.
Yeah, sure. But Tim, if the Chicago Bears called me tomorrow and talk, that doesn't make me the best player in the NFL, though. Yeah.
Sorry, my internet connection is unstable. Do you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Now I can.
All right,
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Did you
No,
hear
I
what
heard what
said,
you're
though?
saying. I did hear what you're saying. It was nonsense. No, I'm kidding. It was a valid point. I think Jaylen Ramsey, he's certainly bigger than Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander, with that said, was rated the number 1 cornerback by Pro Football Focus. And I did send this to Travis, actually. Time out. I don't want to go off his game by game, what he held the opposing receivers to, but I'm going to do that. Where are you? All right. So Adam Thielen, 4 catches, 66 yards. Marvin Jones, 2 catches, 11 yards. Then Emmanuel Sanders, Calvin Ridley, Mike Evans, Will Fuller, weeks 3 through 7 combined for 0 catches and 0 yards. Justin Jefferson, 1 catch, 12 yards. Richie James, 1 catch, 5 yards. T.Y. Hilton, no catches, no yards. Alden Robinson, 3 catches, 28 yards. Jeffrey, no catches. Marvin Jones, Robbie Anderson, A.J. Brown combined for 3 catches for 21 yards. And then A-Rob in week 17, 0 catches for 0 yards. Now, you could go look at Jaylen Ramsey's game-by-game stats. You send me his, Travis, you send me his like season-by-season stats. Very consistent player, of course. I mean, I sent you like the picture of like a coin, or like the coin emoji or whatever, because I think it's a coin flip. You could pick either or. And obviously I'm biased, so you know who I'm going to roll with. Jaylen Ramsey is a fantastic cornerback, and probably in most people's eyes, he is number 1. I know, I just kind of noticed I think Jair is quicker, and I think it's funny. Every time I see him play the Vikings, for some reason, it's always him and Adam Thielen getting into it after every play. I think he's scrappy. I know Jaylen Ramsey, again, is, I think, a great trash talker. But I think Jair Alexander also can get inside the opponent's head. So I think it's a coin flip. Yeah.
Also look at the opposing quarterbacks in the divisions.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
The NFC North, I mean, between Trubisky and Foles, and then Kirk Cousins, and then Stafford didn't really have too much to throw to when Galladay was especially out. So, I mean, and then you look at what Jaylen Ramsey has to go against. I mean, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and, well, now Stafford, but Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So
that's valid. I will. Jaylen and Jair can't do anything about that, and all they have to do is just play, who they're supposed to play against.
I totally agree. But
that's a good point. I will say the last time we saw Jair Alexander, he picked off Tom Brady twice in the championship game. That's all I'll say. We'll call it a coin flip, except you two have picked Jaylen Ramsey, so it's not really a coin flip on the podcast. But in general, we'll call it a podcast.
You're going to be just fine with either.
Yeah, agreed.
It is a coin flip. You're fine.
Jair Alexander is the best cornerback in the NFL. Got it. Okay. I'm kidding. All right. Next up, cuts. NFL training camp cuts. Obviously, we all know Cam Newton, or the New England Patriots, as a matter of fact, shocked the world with the news that they were releasing Cam Newton. Where were you guys when the news broke? Or what did you think of the news?
I was at work. But when I heard it, I was shocked. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't really expect a former MVP and guy who's, what is he, 25, 28, somewhere in there?
No, he's 30.
He's not.
Is he 31? I think he's 31.
He's probably north of 30, because I think he was his last year at college was when he
2010.
2010.
He was 32. Well, I was way off. But anyways, he was 32. Yeah. I was way off. But I mean, still, it's for a quarterback, that's still pretty young for a quarterback. I mean, you see Tom Brady playing at 44. Mm-hmm. So he's still got the mobility that he's pretty much always had. It's just his consistently throwing the football is what makes it a little tough for him. And I guess that's why he got partially cut. But I mean, it could also be, he's never been back up somewhere, and they don't want to have the opposite style quarterbacks for in case Mac Jones does go down. Mac's not completely Cam style. So
yeah.
I don't know. There's many different factors that can go into it, but I hope Cam gets picked up somewhere. I think he's going to be a great backup, if not turn into another great starter. I mean, he played very well for the games in the preseason so far this year. He's proven he still got it. Not like he's just going to be a bust the rest of his life.
Gable?
Well, it makes sense why they cut him, because obviously Mac Jones won the starting job, which is neither here nor there, but Cam Newton is not going to get paid backup money. He's too good. So that's why like Brian Hoyer is going to be the backup quarterback, because he's fine taking the backup salary.
The Patriots cut him.
It's just not. They cut Brian Hoyer too? So who do they have now? Just him and Jarrett Stidham?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Well, Jarrett Stidham knows he's a backup, but Cam Newton doesn't think he's a backup yet anymore. So so like for salary purposes, he's not going to sit there and take and be like a career backup for the rest of his career. So it makes sense why they cut him.
Yeah,
I don't think they cut him. Well, they obviously cut him just because of a skill thing, but they didn't think he couldn't be on the roster. They cut him because of, like I said, like salary purposes, and they just didn't need him in that role.
Yeah, I agree. I think number one, like Cam's shoulder hasn't been the same since the final stretches in Carolina, and if you look at Mac Jones looking to move the pocket, I thought, he's more mobile than I thought he'd be, to be honest with you. And he's able to step up in the pocket, avoid the pass rush, and find the open guy. I mean, I look at that drive against Philly, the 90-plus yard drive or whatever, a couple games ago, and that's if that's not talent, I don't know what is. So I think they made the right call. I'm always weary of rookie quarterbacks, but it looks like Mac Jones won this job clearly. And Gable, you made a good call there. I think, it's not because he's not a good quarterback. He is. It's just, it's money and stuff like that, cap space. But also, I think they came to an agreement. I think maybe they pulled him into a room and said, "Hey, man, we want you to go, because you're not. We want to start with Mac Jones. We want to start fresh with Mac, and I think he'll sign with a contender." I thought it'd be interesting. I mean, I'll ask you guys where you think he should go. But I'm to be honest with you, I'm thinking about Tampa Bay. Like, what if they're near the goal line? Would you want to have Cam Newton do a power run or something like that? And it's just for a 1-year deal, something like that. I just think it'd be an interesting, because people are saying, "Oh, Dallas," which again doesn't make much sense, because I think Dak is very mobile. Okay, Travis, you're shaking your head. You go.
No, I agree. I don't think Dallas is a good spot. What I think would be a good spot for Cam would be Miami with Tua.
Okay.
I think that would be a great situation for him to go into.
That is I thought about, I didn't think about them. Gable, you go, and then I'll respond to that.
I don't know, Tim. What if he should go to? What if he goes to Green Bay?
Oh my gosh,
they won't.
Packers would not do something like that. The Packers have made some bad decisions over the years. They're good. They make mostly good decisions. Sometimes they make bad ones, but mostly they're a smart organization. I think we've seen that over the years. That would not happen. I can promise you that. But would make a great story, and I'm sure it'd be a fun locker room to hang out. Or I'm sure the quarterback room especially would be, very lively. But I think another kind of like the Miami Dolphins, the New York Giants. What if Daniel Jones doesn't work out? They have talent like, again, Kyle Rudolph, Kadarius Toney, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Galladay. Obviously, they got and Evan Ingram and Barkley. Obviously, a healthy Saquon Barkley. I think that could be a spot. I think that's kind of in the realm of the Miami Dolphins. Like their quarterback is somewhat unproven, but they have weapons, and I feel like that could be a situation for sure too.
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah.
Another big name. Ben DiNucci. No, I'm just kidding. Although he did get cut.
Yeah. I was watching him on Hard Knocks. He was missing some throws. I don't know. I mean, I saw him come in for Dak against the Eagles, like on Sunday Night Football later last season. It was not pretty. So yeah, I agree with that cutting. But speaking of like Cam and other cuts, so there have been a lot of not key, but there have been a lot of very good players that were cut. Yesterday, 2 days, whatever.
Yep.
We have Travis Fulgham, the Philadelphia Eagles leading receiver from last season.
Yep.
John Brown, who has 2 career 1,000-yard seasons under his belt. He's been around Buffalo, Arizona. Probably forgetting some more teams. Russell Okung, former Pro Bowl left tackle who was in Carolina. I think they cut him. Mitchell Schwartz for the Kansas City Chiefs, former All-Pro left tackle. Richard Sherman, future Hall of Famer in my eyes at cornerback. Geno Atkins, future Hall of Famer, I think, at defensive tackle. Todd Gurley, who has led the NFL in touchdowns, I believe, since 2015. Le'Veon Bell, who was at one point, I think you can make the case, the best all-around back in the game. And then 2 other veterans, Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore, who could, I'm sure, I know they're old and stuff like that. They're 35 and up, but they could always help a team as a number 3 back or something. You never know. But I'm wondering, do you guys, I mean, where do you think any of those guys, I mean, are those guys intriguing? What team do you think could be a good destination for any of those players?
I'll add one more name to the list. How about Clinton Dix being cut by the 49ers?
Oh, they did cut him. Okay. Wow. That's because he was out of the league he went from the Packers traded him to Washington in 2018. And then he was with the Bears, right? Bears for a year.
Yep.
And then he hasn't been in the league for a year or two. So that's interesting too. I don't know. I think it makes sense. Richard Sherman, maybe go back to Seattle. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with that or not. I know he has some legal issues he's dealing with, but do you think?
It's kind of like a Deshaun Watson situation. I'm going to wait. I'd wait until I find out what's going on with him.
Yeah.
Before I try and sign him.
Yeah.
Because if you sign him, then it's just too much controversy going towards your team and everything else.
For sure. I mean, I'm looking at some of these left tackles, Russell Okung, Mitchell Schwartz. I mean, do you guys know any teams, any offensive linemen? I mean, Travis, do you think the Bears need offensive linemen?
Could definitely use some.
You got Jason Peters.
Jason Peters, but I mean, he could always get hurt. We could use some help at right tackle. I mean, I don't mind Ifedi, but if we can have somebody more stable, I feel like one of those names could definitely help.
Yeah. Who do you think? I mean, who do you guys think? Like Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, Peterson, Gore. Like, you think any teams out there are going to sign? I mean, I think certainly Todd Gurley is going to be scooped up by the end of the season. Don't know about Le'Veon Bell. I don't think Adrian Peterson's ready to retire. Same with Frank Gore. I think Frank Gore wants to play until his son, who's at Mississippi State or Southern Miss, his son's at Southern Miss. I don't think he wants to retire until his son comes into the game so that they can play together. But who do you? I mean, you think any teams need some running backs?
Someone should give Frank Gore a chance because isn't he pretty close to breaking some more records?
I believe he's top 5 in rushing all time. I know that might be 4 or 3. I mean, I'm looking at some of these teams. Again, I was shocked when Baltimore was not expected to sign Gurley because I know they have Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, Lamar Jackson's a runner, but I mean, wouldn't hurt to have a former offensive player of the year on the team. I know he had knee tendonitis, whatever it is. I think that could certainly be an option. I know the Niners, Jeff Wilson Jr. was put on IR for the first 5 or 6 weeks. I know they have Raheem Mostert and Trey Sermon from Ohio State. I know maybe you can get another veteran in there as well. You have a bunch of young guys. Other than Mostert, you have Trey Sermon, who hasn't rushed, in the NFL before. So maybe a veteran like that, or a veteran like Peterson or Gore could certainly help out.
Another name is Devon Freeman got cut by the Saints.
That's right. Right. I think he's, I hate to say he's like out of his prime, but like when he was good when he was in Atlanta, and then he's bounced around with the Giants. He might be, I don't want to say he's done, but like kind of once your team cuts you after you've been in the league for a few years and you were good, but once your team kind of cuts you and then you go to a new team, but then they cut you right away. I don't know. It's kind of like you're kind of headed towards the end,
Yeah.
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 All right. Do you guys want to? So we've done this a couple. Travis and I've done this a couple times. Gable, we've done this too, I think. Since we're 1 week away from Cowboys Bucks, do you guys want to make your seasonal predictions? So like division champions, like kind of playoff predictions.
Especially now that we know a lot more about these teams and stuff.
Okay, so Travis, we'll start with you. Who?
Jeez.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
Pressure.
Yeah,
Thanks.
No pressure. So who do you think, going by, well, we'll start in the AFC. Start AFC North. Who do you like and why? I'm gonna chalk these down so at the end of the season, prove who's the smartest person.
I'm gonna go Browns.
Okay.
Ravens. Steelers. Bengals. I like the Browns. I think they're the most complete team.
Okay.
The Ravens have always had a solid defense. Lamar Jackson's only getting better. He's getting a couple more people around him, and he's just being more experienced. I think they're getting to be a complete team as well. The Steelers have some question marks. Still haven't signed TJ. Haven't signed Minka. Haven't signed Hayden.
Yeah.
We'll see how Ben plays. I still think they're going to be a good team. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, formidable.
I don't know. I think there's just a couple too many question marks around that. And then
would you say
the Bengals.
Would you say that? So you have the Browns. You think the Ravens are a wild card team though?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So you have the Browns going to go on to win the division. Then you have the Ravens going to a wild card. AFC West, Chiefs, I presume.
AFC West, yeah, I'd have the Chiefs. And then Chargers, who would take another wild card spot.
All right.
Broncos or Raiders?
Do you think 3 teams could get in from the West? I want to believe so bad.
No.
I want to believe in them so bad, both those teams, because I know the Raiders, they're itching to get back there. The Broncos have some potential, like they have talent. It's tough, though. No. All right.
No.
Yeah.
I don't. But I'll go Raiders, then Broncos.
All right. AFC South.
Titans,
Mm-hmm.
Colts,
Okay.
because of all the injuries that they've had. They're getting the third wild cards.
All right.
Jaguars or Texans? I'm going to go Jaguars and Texans. I don't think the Texans are going to win more than like 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't think the Jaguars are going to win more than like 4 games. So that's just a complete toss. So I'm going to go Jaguars and Texans.
Then you got the Bills in the AFC East.
Yeah.
All right.
Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and then Jets.
All right. Gable, who do you have? Oh, well, actually, no. Travis, we'll finish out. We'll just do the whole NFC for you. Who do you?
Jesus.
Unless, do you want to go to Gable? No. You know what? Gable. AFC. We'll do Gable. We'll just do the whole AFC thing and then whatnot.
All right. What division?
AFC North.
I actually think the Ravens could win the NFC North. AFC North. Sorry. I know I agree with what Travis said. The Browns got all the pieces, but I don't know if they've fully hit their stride out playing together.
Yeah.
And I think Jarvis Landry and Odell have been, good, but I don't know if they've actually hit their peak. I don't think Odell's hit his peak since some of his prime years in New York. So, and I do think that Lamar Jackson is a dynamic enough player to carry that team to first place.
All right.
And then do you want me to rank? So I think it's going to be the Ravens, Browns, Steelers, Bengals.
Do you think the Browns are?
Except that.
Do you think the Browns are wild card?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I think they can. I think they'll rely on talent enough to sneak into a playoff spot.
All right. AFC West.
The AFC, the Chiefs are going to run away with it. And then I think I agree. I think I'm going to say what Travis said. And then I think the Chargers. I love Justin Herbert. I'm a big Oregon guy. Love Justin Herbert for a while.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's great. Derwin James, I think could be. Is potential to be a lot of good stuff this year. I think I love the way he plays too. But I just think the Chiefs are too good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely think the Chargers are a playoff team, but I think the Chiefs are good. The Chiefs are great, and then so I think it's Chiefs, Chargers, and then I like Teddy Bridgewater. So Broncos, Raiders.
Yeah. No, that's solid. AFC South.
AFC South. And the Titans. Picking up Julio, that's dope. They're going to hit either Julio or AJ Brown is going to get single coverage, and that's a nightmare scenario for a defense. I'd probably then the Colts, even though with injuries, I think they'll come in second. And then the Jaguars, I do like Trevor Lawrence. And the Texans are the biggest shit show on the planet. So,
all right. And then AFC East. Who do you have? Who do you got there?
Bills won. I think Josh Allen's an MVP candidate, for sure. They've got Stephon Diggs, probably, arguably the best receiver in the league. I think he led the league in receiving yards last year, maybe even touchdowns too. I think they got a good defense. I think I like the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins that sneak being the second best team in that division. I think they got. I still think Tua Tagovailoa could do it. Could do a great job there. I'm still not going to be wary. And then I think Patriots, Jets.
Who's your third wild card team again?
Give it to the Dolphins sneaking in there.
All right.
Could be funny. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, I'll roll. So AFC North, Browns. That's an easy choice for me. I just think I think the Dobbins injury plus I think the offense is predictable now more than ever. I know they drafted some they got Rashad Bateman, they brought in Sammy Watkins, but I think they're predictable still. Chiefs, I mean, pure domination. And then I will roll Chargers. Chargers get the wild card. I'll put the Ravens
at. Are you not going to go through each of the divisions and go 1 through 4?
Fine. My time is valuable, but I'll do it. Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Bengals. I don't know if the Steelers. Steelers are going to be mediocre. They'll be formidable, but they're mediocre. And then Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders going to be a fight till the end. I think Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. I think they're all going to be super competitive against each other. And the Chargers in the end, though, I think get it done. And then AFC South. Give me the Titans. I just think Titans. You bring in Julio Jones. Their defense is not great, and that's putting it lightly. But their offense is going to be good enough. They're going to win the division. Colts come in second. And then Jaguars will be better than Titans. I'm going to hold off on putting the Colts in the postseason just for now. I'm going to think about it. And then AFC East, Bills. We're going to go Bills. Hey. Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. And then I'm going to say the Patriots sneak in the last wild card spot. I believe in the Patriots. I believe in Bill Belichick. Asante Samuel just recently said that Bill Belichick without Tom Brady is just another coach. I disagree because he did go 11-5 with Matt Castle, did go 3-1 with Garoppolo and Brissett starting games. So I'm going to roll with the Patriots there. Have an idea. Do you guys want to hold off on the NFC part until next show? That way we have some more content, and that way we can, kind of spread it out.
Sure.
And then we can either wrap it up.
Next show we gotta do all our picks for week 1 though.
Or what about Thursday? So the show before the game on Thursday?
Yeah, next
we might have something come up next Thursday. Think about it.
Gable, what should we do? Should we just push it to Thursday, even though we might have a certain guest?
I mean, if for content purposes, sure, but because it doesn't take that long to sit here and pick. It's not going to take that long, but
we could do it. We could do the NFC, wrap it up, and then do our picks.
Okay.
Right now?
Yeah. No. On Monday. I love how we're talking about this on air, in front of people.
That's fine.
Fantastic.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So that's basically the end of the show. Really, it's not. But I got a notification on my computer saying that I only have 4.5 minutes remaining on my episode here because it says I have to upgrade to Pro or something on Zoom. So I have no idea what that means, but I feel like we should probably end in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to post this. Is that fair?
It's fine with me.
I mean, unless I can get rid of it. Yeah, I have no idea how to get rid of it. Trust me, I'm no Hank Pym. You know who Hank Pym is?
No.
Ant-Man? Okay.
Oh. Well, okay, I mean, I've seen Ant-Man. I didn't.
You got... Okay. Avengers, Star Wars, Harry Potter. What's the best movie series?
Harry Potter.
I knew you were going to go there, Gable. I had a feeling you were going to say Harry Potter.
I'm a Harry Potter guy. I've never seen all the Star Wars movies, which I know you're going to say. Oh,
no, you and I know I have a couple friends who've never seen Harry Potter before, which is absurd to me. Travis?
Harry Potter.
Okay. All right. Look, Harry Potter from a story perspective, yes. I mean, it's great. It is all great.
It's goated.
You just have to, yeah, it is. Star Wars has the best history behind it. I feel like you have the first series in the 77, 1980, 1983, and then you bring in the series from 1999, 2002, 2005, that kind of stuff with the Jedi, and then obviously you have this most recent trilogy, and then Avengers. Avengers, I wouldn't necessarily because there's so many singular movies. What?
Well, it's also still going. It's also still going on.
Yeah. So it's I can't call it's a series, but it's just there's so many singular movies.
Yeah, but also the Marvel cinema, it's still going on. Harry Potter's done. Right? Star Wars is done. I think Star Wars is done, right?
I think they're going to address a whole new side of the Star Wars universe, which is going to be interesting to see what happens. But for now, no, I get what you're saying. For now,
they're going to keep making Avengers movies until. Mm-hmm. Until TVs don't exist anymore. It's going to be
new Spider-Man
that
movie.
That shit makes so much money.
Yeah, new Spider-Man movie coming out in December. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to die because usually in the third, I believe in all three in the third Iron Man, in the third Captain America, someone ends up dying. or like Iron Man 3. I saw this on social media. In the movies, someone always ends up dying in the third movie of the series. So I don't know. Someone's gonna die, and it's not gonna be Peter. I know that.
All right, for the last minute 40, best TV series.
This can't take a minute. This can't take a minute.
Game
40.
Game of Thrones.
Power.
I am up.
Okay.
I'm a Game of Thrones guy.
There's some. I mean, there's a lot, man. I mean, if you're talking about,
I'm gonna say Office or Parks and Recs.
Parks
and Rec's great. The Office is classic. I know it's Aaron Rodgers' favorite show. I know Brian Baumgartner, who plays Kevin Malone, hosts a podcast about it. He has different guests from the show on. That's a great show. I love Friends. I love Seinfeld, classic 90s, stuff like that. So it's tough, man. It's a toss-up. Parks and Rec, Friends, Seinfeld, Office, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, The Mandalorian. A lot of great new shows out. We got to go, though, because my computer sucks. So we'll talk on Monday. Going to be great. Big-time guest coming, fans. Big-time guest coming.
Next week, not Monday.
Next week. Get excited. Yeah.